All right, good morning. Today we're going to start off with a little bit of review. Yesterday we talked about SOHCAHTOA with sine, cosine, and tangent. And remember, the reason those ratios are helpful is a couple things have to be true. First, you have to have a right triangle, okay? And then in order to identify your sine, cosine, tangent, we need to decide which side is our opposite side, our adjacent side, and our hypotenuse. So on these four triangles, all of them have a right angle. Okay, so the hypotenuse, in my opinion, is the easiest side by far to find. Hypotenuse is always opposite of that right angle. So what I mean by that is right here's the right angle, go across the triangle, there's the H. Now, opposite and adjacent. Remember, adjacent means next to. Okay, so if we're going next to the angle, this one is for angle X. So right here I have angle X marked. Next to that would be right here, that's adjacent. And then the opposite is over here. Okay, so if you want, you can pause it and try 2, 3, and 4. Just draw a little picture and try them. So on this next one, the hypotenuse, once again, is right here, the longest side. Adjacent is next to angle X. And then opposite is on the other side of the triangle. Number 3, the hypotenuse is here. Opposite of X would be here. Adjacent to X would be there. And on the final one, number 4 here, hypotenuse, the adjacent is beside, and the opposite is across the triangle. All right. Now, today we are going to be working on our calculator to do some approximations using sine, cosine, and tangent. Now, there are 2 ways you can do this. Okay. So one of the ways right here, you can click this link if you're on. If you switch to the cursor, and then let's see, actually we have to maybe have the hand tool. Oh, maybe I am wrong on that. I thought this link would work. But if we go ahead and copy it and open up a new tab, we can paste. Okay, here's desmos.com/scientific. Okay, this is one way we can calculate it. The other way, some of you have access to this calculator, and we also have these calculators in my classroom. So to do this, one thing you got to know, we are finding these in degrees. If we look here on the calculator at the top here, it says radian. Okay, so this is what's kind of tough about these. We need to be in degree mode, so hit mode, come down here and go over to degree and hit enter. Okay, then second quit, and now it's in degree mode. Now, unfortunately, every time I turn this calculator on or open it, if I close out of it and I pull it back up, we'll see. Oh, maybe I'm wrong because it's in degree mode still. But oftentimes when you do that, if you'd like shut your computer and stuff, it will be back into radian mode. Okay, so now to solve this, we're just practicing finding sine, cosine, tangent, and sine again of these values. So all we do is sine of 30, close your parenthesis, hit enter, and we get 0.5. Now notice it says to approximate the given value to 4 decimal places. Okay, so this next one, cosine of 18. Okay, so I can do cosine of 18, close your parenthesis, hit enter, and it's 0.9510, but the next one's a 5, so 0.9511. And if you wanted to use the other calculator, you can, just like before. So what was that? Cosine of 18. Oops. We hit enter, and as you can see, it's the same thing. Also, if you don't want to click here, there's sine, cosine, tangent. Instead, you can type cosine 18. Get the exact same thing. Now, one thing I want to point out, if we switch it right here, now it's in radians mode. Cosine of 18, you see it gives us a different answer over here, 0.66. Okay, it changed all of those because we're back in radians mode. If I change it back to degrees, now we have what we want. So make sure you are in degree mode. We are dealing with degrees, much like inches and centimeters are 2 ways to measure the same thing, just with a different label. Degrees and radians are the same process there, kind of. So tangent of 72, We'll do the tangent of 72, close the parenthesis, hit enter, and we're going 4 decimal places, so 3.0776, but there's an 8 after it, so it's 777, because we'll round up. And then the final one, sine of 48. And all of these will help us with finding sine, cosine, and tangent using the SOHCAHTOA method. Okay? So 0.7431. All right, so remember SOHCAHTOA, and some of you might prefer to write it as this, SOHCAHTOA. So yesterday we just found our fractions. Today we are going to actually solve for variables using this SOHCAHTOA method. So the first thing we want to do on number 9, we just got these 4 left, okay? Using SOHCAHTOA, identify your O, your A, your H. So we have H is the 12. That's easy. Opposite of the right angle, okay? Now, the X is adjacent. It's next to, so that's an A. Meanwhile, the side that has nothing is an O. Now, to decide which of these we're going to use, sine, cosine, or tangent, we need to look. And 2 of the sides have something on them. Okay, H has a 12, we can use that. The X is here, that's what we're trying to find, we need to use this. Meanwhile, the O, there's no information over there, it does not help us whatsoever, nor do we need to find it, so it doesn't help us. All we care about is this X, solving for the X. So we'll use the H and the A. Now we look up here, H and A match with C or K or cos. So it is the, let me do this in blue, the cosine of 37, and I like to always put it over 1, equals A over H. So X over 12. Now we can cross multiply. If we cross multiply that, we'll get X equals, and it's going to be 12 times the cosine of 37. So we can go up here, 12 times the cosine of 37. And we hit enter, and I know we were going to 4 decimal places. We don't need to go that far. Let's just go to 2 here. So 9.58. All right. So here's our next one, number 10. Once again, we got to label our sides. So the 10 is probably the easiest. It's the H. This Y is opposite of that 37 degrees. Okay. So once again, we don't care about this side at the bottom. I could put an A there if I want, but I don't care what it is. All I care about is the O and the H. So O and H, if we look up here, it's sine. Okay, now we're going to use our ratio. So sine of 37, always put it over 1. So we're setting up a proportion. Okay, equals, now it's O over H. So Y over 10. We cross multiply, we'll get Y equals whatever 10 times the sine of 37 is. Now, don't do 10 times 37. It's 10 times the sine of 37. You have to use the calculator. You can't do this in your head. Okay, we hit enter, and as you can see, 6.018. So if we round, 6.02. All right, 2 more to practice here. On this one, the hypotenuse is the blank side on number 11. So you can label it if you want, but you don't really need to. 4 would be adjacent to that 36 degrees, and X is the opposite side. And once again, the reason we are saying this is A is because we care about the angle we have. If you really wanted to, you could find this other angle and then have this be the opposite and this be the adjacent and go based on that angle. That's just one extra step. We know that every triangle adds up to 180, so you could do it pretty easily, but there's no need. Okay? So we have an O and an A. If we look up here, SOHCAHTOA, O and A, TOA, tangent. And I'm going to do this at the bottom just so I have a little more space, but the tangent of 36 over 1 equals O over A. So X over 4. We'd cross multiply, X would equal whatever 4 times the tangent of 36 is. So 4 times the tangent of 36, close your parenthesis, hit enter, and we get 2.91. Okay, and we're almost done. Here's our final problem. This time the 8 is our H, the X is our O, right here's our A. Okay, so once again, O and H, this one's going to be sine. SOHCAHTOA, so if you forgot, sine of 65 divided by 1, I don't know what that mark is, equals O over H, so X over 8. We cross multiply, X will equal whatever 8 times the sine of 65 is. So 8 times the sine of 65, and we get 7.25. And remember, if you're at home and don't have access to this calculator, you can do that on the Desmos as well. 8. So if I do 8 times, we said the sine of 65, make sure you get your parentheses right. And I hit enter, you see 7.25, the same answer. So I hope you guys have a great day. There is an It's Learning assignment. Please get that done. Only 3 questions. If you guys need any help, let me know, and I'll talk to you later.